Hello all, welcome to part 10 of TestNG training series. In this session, I am going to explain and practically demonstrate about the different TestNG annotations. So let's get started. So there are different TestNG annotations. First of all, what are these annotations? Before I cover or show you the list of different annotations we have in TestNG, we have to first know what exactly are these annotations. Annotations, which are especially from TestNG, are mainly used to control the flow of the execution of the tests. Okay? You see, the order in which the code that is written inside the projects is getting executed can be controlled with the help of this TestNG annotations. Okay, I'll practically show you guys by using this different TestNG annotations, we can change the flow of the execution of the code. Okay, we can decide the order in which the code that is written in the projects will be executed or need to be executed. Okay, that is the power of the TestNG annotations, guys. Okay, so many people have many definitions about annotations, but coming to the reality, this is what or this is why we use annotations. Okay, they change the control of the flow of the execution of the tests or code that is written inside the projects. Okay, different annotations will behave differently. Okay, some annotations will disable the code from execution. Some annotations will help us in repeating the same code to be executed multiple times. And some annotations will create a predicate code after code like that. Different ways the execution of flow of the automation tests or automation code or general code can be controlled with the help of these test ng annotations. So hope you understood what are annotations, but with practical demonstration, this statement will be more clear for you. Okay. So for that to happen, I'll show you the different type of annotations that are available in TestNG. Okay. In TestNG, we have so many annotations, guys, starting with at the rate test annotation. Then we have before method, before class, before test, before suit, after suit, before group, after group, data provider, parameters, factory, listeners, ignore. This many annotations are there in TestNG. But in this session, I'm not going to practically demonstrate all these annotations for you because that will become a very big topic. Okay. So I am listing down the annotations. That doesn't mean that I'm going to practically demonstrate each and every annotation in this session, but I'll be covering each and every annotations. Okay. Here, whatever the listed annotations are there, I'll be covering all these annotations for you in the upcoming sessions as part of the topic by topic. For example, in grouping tests in TestNG. Okay. If you talk about grouping tests, ignoring tests in TestNG, enabling or disabling the test code. Okay. Uh, you see different annotations have to be used, guys. Okay. For different purpose, different annotations have to be used. For enabling, disabling, and grouping of the test and so on. Different annotations have to be used. Okay. So based on the topic, I will be covering all the annotations. But for this session or in this session, we have to focus more on the first three annotations, guys. At the rate test, before method, after method. Other annotations like before class, before test, before suite, after suite are not generally used in real time. Mostly in real time, we use at the rate test, before method, and after method. Rarely we'll use before class, after class, but after before class and after class, whatever the annotations are there, like before test, after test, before suite, after suite. Okay, these are not generally used. Okay, so, and these will be remaining annotations like before group, after group, data provider, parameters, factory, listeners, ignore, will be explained as part of the topic by topic, guys. Okay, based on the topics, I'll be covering this before group, after group, data provider, parameters, factory, and listeners, and ignore. For now, in this session, we'll be mainly focusing on at the rate test, before method, and after method. Okay, so and at a high level, I'll show you how this all these annotations still after suit from at the rate test to after suit are changing the flow of the execution code, not in real time, but in the dummy example I'll take and show you how at the rate test to after suit are working. Okay. For real time example, I'll take at the rate test before method, after method. For non-real time example, I'll take from at the rate test to after suit. Okay. All these annotations I'm going to cover. Remaining annotations I'll be covering as part of the topic by topic basis. Okay. Based on the requirement in the topics, I'll be covering the other annotations. So guys, so let's start with the at the rate test, guys. It's a very important annotation that everyone uses as part of TestNG. As part of this annotation, guys, as part of this at the rate test annotation, okay, a normal method will be converted to the test methods. Okay, when you are going with TestNG, guys, when you are running the scripts using automation scripts using TestNG in Selenium or in REST assured API automation or in APM mobile automation, whatever it may be, when you are using at the rate test annotation before the methods, the normal methods will get converted to the test methods, and we can run those methods with the help of TestNG. We no more have to use any main method. Okay. In Java, we were using the main method to run the code. Without main method, we cannot run any code in Java. But when TestNG got introduced into these projects, okay, apart from Java, if the TestNG library is also used in the project, so instead of using main method, we are going to convert the normal methods into the test methods by providing at the rate test annotation before them that you already know from the previous sessions, right? The previous sessions itself, we have used at the rate test multiple times, okay? But let me cover it again in a real time fashion. So here, guys, under the sample, I'll create a class known as login, okay? Login class, let that be login, okay, login.java. And if you go to this pom.xml file of this project, it is already configured with, it's by default there with the Java library, guys. Apart from the Java library, this pom.xml file is also adding here TestNG library. You see TestNG library apart from Java library, now we have TestNG library configured in this project, and we have the WebDriver manager which is required for Selenium, and yeah, we also have the Selenium library. So I'll be taking an example of real-time example of Selenium, guys, for this demonstration purpose. Inside this login class, I'll create a method public void verify user login with valid credentials. Okay, verify user login with valid credentials. This is what is the method I'm creating. But if I right click and run, guys, I will not get any run configuration option. Okay, though TestNG Eclipse ID plugin is already installed, but this method is a normal method, guys. Okay, here TestNG Eclipse ID plugin is already installed, guys. If you go here and search for TestNG here, if you are getting TestNG option, that means we have explicitly installed TestNG Eclipse ID plugin. But still, when I right click on this code, I'm not getting the TestNG test option to run this particular method. The reason behind that is it is a normal method. I have to convert this normal method into the at the rate test method. I have to convert this normal method into the at the rate test method, guys. Hover the mouse on at the rate test and over the mouse on this at the rate test, guys. Import this test from TestNG library. Now this method got converted into a TestNG test method. If you right click run here, run as here, you will get an run configuration option, that is TestNG test. I can run it. This particular method doesn't have any code, so it will pass directly, guys. Okay, since there is no code, it will run and it will pass. Simply it will pass. Okay, because there is no code to run, so it will directly pass, guys. And here also you'll get a verify user with valid credentials is passed. But here I have not written any Selenium automation code so far. Let me now write the Selenium automation code. How to write the Selenium automation code? WebDriver manager dot Chrome driver dot setup. Then I'll write WebDriver driver. For now, we are using only one annotation in TestNG, that is known as editor. Slowly, we'll be using the other annotations of TestNG also during the demonstration based on our needs. Okay, so be with me. WebDriver driver is equal to new Chrome driver. WebDriver driver is equal to new Chrome driver. Hover the mouse on the WebDriver and import this WebDriver from Selenium and import this Chrome driver class also from Selenium. Then driver dot manage dot window dot maximize driver dot get. I'll give this application URL, guys. I'll give this application URL driver dot get. Then after going to this application URL, okay. So what I want to do, this particular test, as you can see, verify user login with value. We have to go to the login page. How to go to the login page? I have to inspect on this my account. I have to inspect on this my account. This HTML code of the my account will be displayed. Copy this my account and here span tags are there. Say Control F, guys. Double slash span. Okay. Text is equal to my account. Text is equal to my account. Okay. Double slash span text is equal to my account. And here one of one is there. Copy this. Copy this locator, XPath locator for that my account and write the code here. Driver.find element by dot XPath. Provide the XPath of that my account and say dot click, guys. Click on the my account, guys. It click on the my account. Then I have to select the login option. For that, I'll inspect the login option. The HTML code of the login option will be displayed. It's a link text, guys. You see, its anchor tags are there. Between the anchor tags, this particular text is there. So we can use that as a link text locator. Driver.find element by dot link text by dot link text and provide the link text. Say dot click. Okay, say dot click. Click on this login, guys. You'll be taken to the login page. After you are taken to the login page, you have to enter the valid email address and valid password here. As part of the valid email address, I'll be entering this valid email address here. For that, we have to locate this field. So here we have an ID, guys. Input email is ID. So write down here driver.find element by dot ID by dot ID. Provide the ID of that email field. Provide the ID of that email field and say dot send keys. Provide the send keys here, guys. Provide the send keys and provide this, copy this and provide this. And now write down here the password. Inspect this password field. Inspect this password field and say input password. Copy this input password from here and say driver dot find element by dot id. Provide the id of the password field and say dot send keys. Okay, in the send keys, you provide the password, guys. That is 12345. Let's say that is a valid password here. I'll give the password here in the password field 12345. And I have to click on the login button, guys. I'll inspect the login button. Here value attribute value, that is login, is there. Copy this. Control F double slash input at the rate value is equal to login. Enter. Okay. Over the mouse and you see this is a login button. Okay. Copy this and write down here driver dot find element by dot xpath of the login button, and you just need to click on the login button. Dot click. So after you click on the login button, we need to verify whether we have really logged in or not. Okay. These options that you are seeing here in the account page, that is edit your account information, change your password, all these options will be displayed only when the user is logged in. So I'll verify one of the option to confirm whether we got logged in or not. Okay. How to verify that? For that, I have to use some assertions, TestNG assertions, which I have covered in the previous session here. Okay. Assertions in TestNG. If not, you just go and watch the previous video. So I'll directly write hard assertion here. Assert equal true. Assert true I'll write. And here in place of this I'll write driver dot find element by dot link text. The link text of that particular option I'll write down. Okay, this is nothing but the link text, guys. Inspect this. It will mostly link text just between the anchor tags. Copy this and paste it here, guys. Paste it here. Okay, and have to make sure that it is displayed or not. Is displayed, I'll write. Is displayed. Okay, this is how I'll write the code, guys. Okay, this is how I'll write the code. So is there anything missing? No. Save this then. Yeah. So this is the code I have written, guys. And finally here, after verifying whether with valid credentials the user is able to log in or not, we will quit the browser. Driver.quit is the statement I'll write. This is one of the tests. You see, this particular method got converted into the test method. It's one of the test case you have automated, guys, using say UI test case you have automated by converting this normal method into the test method with the help of which annotation at the rate test annotation. Now if I run the code, you'll see that the test will run using TestNG. Okay, where it will open the Chrome browser, maximize the browser, open the application URL in the browser, open the application URL in the browser, click on the login, enter the email address and password, click on the login button. Okay, and finally it has closed the browser and it is passed, guys. Test got passed. You see, test got passed. Okay, with valid credentials, that edit your account information link has been displayed and the test has been, there is no exception here, it has been passed. That's fine so far, guys. Okay, that's fine so far. What if I create one more method here, or we'll talk about one more thing, that is uh or let's create yeah, so let's stick to one thing. Fine. So here there are different TestNG annotations, right? That is apart from at the rate test, we have at the rate before method, at the rate after method. I'm going to cover these two methods in a natural way. So guys, here only one test method is there, but if the test is passing, the browser is closing or not. If this particular test is passing, is the browser automatically closing? Is the driver.quit is being executed or not? Run this again. You'll see that just Clearly see when the test is running and after the test is completed, after the verification is completed, whatever the browser that is automatically opened is automatically getting closed because the test is passing. You see here, the browser has opened, the URL is being browsed, and you see the browser automatically got closed. I didn't close it. Okay, driver.quit was working fine. What if there is a, if I add ABC intentionally here, what if this assertion fails? What if this particular test fails? In that case, will the browser close automatically? The answer is no. When the test fails, when the assertion fails, at this line 25 itself, the code will stop execution and 26th line will not be executed. Okay. Now, if you run this test, if you run this test, okay, if you run this test, guys, the test will fail, but the browser will not close. That's the problem because assertion error will come in the 25th line, and because of the assertion error, the code execution will stop there itself. You see, the browser has not closed, and instead you got an exception here. That is no such element exception. Okay, because of this exception, okay, the test has failed. The test has failed, and we got this exception details here. That's okay. But the problem here is not about the exception. The exception is correct only because we intentionally added ABC here. Because of that, no such element exception is coming. But is the browser closed when the test got failed? Here the test got failed, guys. Okay, you can see in the results. You see, one failed. It's not passed, it's failed now. When it is failed, the browser is not closing. What I want is, even though the test is failing, I want the browser to be closed. I don't want the browser to be open like this. I still want the browser to be closed. Whether the test passes or fails doesn't matter, but the browser has to close. That means that I cannot write this driver.quit in the same method where the failure is happening. I have to move this driver.quit outside this test method. How? Here, somewhere here, bottom, or you can write it here or here, any place, doesn't matter, guys. Okay, create a method like public void closure or tear down. Any name you can give here. A lot of people use tear down as the name. Some people also use closure, and I will annotate this method. I will use another annotation apart from the reiterate test annotation of TestNG. I'll use another annotation of TestNG known as after method annotation. Okay, here I'll write after method and hover the mouse, and I'll import this annotation from TestNG library, and I'll move this line here, driver.quit. I'll cut this and paste it here. Okay, this is what I am doing. But the problem is driver is not, even though I moved this driver.quit outside this test method, you see driver object reference is not accessible here. Okay, the reason behind that is we have declared this driver inside this method. That means it is a local driver. I have to make this as a global driver. I have to copy this and directly declare this WebDriver driver directly under the class and remove the declaration of the driver from here. Okay, then it will become global and can be accessed across all the methods inside this class. After method, it can be accessed, the test method driver can be accessed, and so on. Okay. So why I'm moving this driver.quit into the after method is there is a reason, guys. Whether this test will pass or fail. Okay. Whether, let's say for example, let the test pass. Okay. I'll give a proper edit your account information link text here, locator here, and the test will pass this time. Even though the test passes, after the test method got executed, immediately after method will be executed. Okay, after the test method got executed, immediately after method will be executed. So automatically, guys. Okay, run the test here. You see, the test will pass and the after method will be executed. Browser will be closed. The test will pass, guys. The test will pass this time. If it's taking time, just press enter. It is a demo application only. The test will pass. You see, the browser got closed. Okay, when it is passed, the browser got closed automatically. Earlier, when the test got passed, earlier when the test got passed, uh, the browser was closing. But when the test got failed, here if I intentionally added ABC here, earlier in this case, the test got failed and the browser was not closing. But this time, guys, whether even though this particular test fails at this line 35 because of the assertion error, still after method will be executed and the browser will be closed, guys. Okay, though you get the results as failure in the test engine results, still the browser will close, guys. That's the advantage of moving this creating this tear down method, okay, which will do the closure part. Okay, run this. You see, the test will fail, but still the browser will close. That's the advantage of, that is the reason why I'm using after method here. Okay, after method annotation. After method annotation will run no matter whether the test method will pass or fail. That's the advantage, and it will run after the test method. You see, the browser got closed even though the test got failed. Despite of the test being failing, the browser got closed. Okay, here the test got failed and you got the no such element exception, but the browser got closed, guys. That's the advantage. Okay, so let's remove this ABC from here. Now you understood what is the use of this after method and why we are moving this driver dot quit into this after method. That's the purpose, guys. Okay, now I'll create one more test method here. Okay, so public void verify user login with valid username, valid username and invalid password. Invalid password. At the rate test. WebDriver manager dot Chrome driver dot setup. Okay, then driver is equal to new Chrome driver. Then driver dot manage dot window dot maximize. Then driver dot get. Here I'll give valid username but invalid password, guys. I'll give valid username and invalid password. Copy this. I'll give valid username but invalid password 67890. Open the Chrome browser, maximize the browser, open the application URL. It will click on the my account. It will click on the login button. We will enter valid email address but invalid password. So when we click on the login button, what should happen, guys? For example, let's see here what is the expected scenario here when you give valid username and invalid password. For example, if I click on the login button and give the valid username, but here I'll give invalid password. Okay, I'm not giving 12345, rather I am giving 12345678890, which is an invalid password. Click on the login button, you will get a warning message here. You will get a warning message here. We have to verify whether we are getting a warning message or not. Inspect that, guys. No match for email address or password. We should verify this warning message is getting displayed or not. If it is getting displayed, then we are good. Okay, so how to verify that? You see, I'll start from here. I'll create an inside the div tag, this warning message is there, and div tag has a class which contains these three classes. One of the classes, this particular thing is one of the class here. I'll say double slash control F double slash div at the rate or contains. I'll say contains better. There are multiple classes, so contains at the rate class, one of the class as this class. Okay, and I'll create a proper XPath expression, and you see it is locating the warning message. That X between the warning message can be retrieved from this XPath with the help of get text. So I'll be using one assertion here. That is, what is assertion? I'll be using assert dot assert equals. I'll take one of the assertion here. Here actual assertion I'll be writing first. I'll be writing driver dot find element, driver dot find element by dot that is XPath, right? XPath of that div tag. In between that the warning message is there. Dot get. Okay, here find elements got added, guys. So just change it to find element. Otherwise, you will not get text. Get text. Okay, and what is expected? Expected warning message. What is the message we are expecting? We are expecting this warning message. Warning. No match for email and password should be is expected. Okay, warning. No match for email or password is expected. And after that, driver dot quit is already there in the after method. I don't have to write because this after method will be running after every test method. After every test method. So this is one of the test methods, the second test method, and also I'll give the priority, guys, so that they will be executed in some order. This particular test method will be executed first because priority is one. After this test method is executed, immediately after method driver dot quit will be executed. Okay, whether the test will pass or fail doesn't matter. Okay, so here also after the second test method, this is another test method, guys. There are two test methods inside the same login class. After second test method got executed, after method will be executed and browser will quit. Okay, whether the test passes or fails, the browser will quit. Now I'll say run all here, run all, and here I'll give priority is equal to first. I explained about the priority in the previous sessions only. If not, if you have not gone through that, go through the previous sessions and you can understand priority attribute, guys. Here I'll click on run all, guys. The two tests will be executed one after the another, and whether they are passing or failing doesn't matter, guys. The browser is going to be closed. Okay, let's see that in action. Whether they are passing or failing, the browser is going to close. You see, first test is browser closed. Second test is getting executed. If it's taking a lot of time, just press enter because it's a demo application. Real time we should not be doing, but in demo application we can do. So here, guys, after I click on the login button, it's actually waiting. The browser is not closing. Okay, what is the problem we have to see? Warning: no match for email address and password. Any exception came here? Both the tests got passed, but why the browser is not closed? I don't understand. Okay, the browser has to be closed actually. So is this a after method only? Yes. Tear down driver. Okay, here you see I forgot to remove this declaration. Okay, that is a problem, guys. Okay, it should be a global declaration. If it is local declaration, you got a wrong output. Okay, now run this again. This time you will see a proper thing. Should not be declaring the driver locally anywhere. Okay, that's what is causing the problem. You see, two tests got passed. Okay, two tests got passed, and both the cases the browser got closed automatically because after every test method, after method got annotated method got executed. Okay, now I'll create one more test method, guys. Okay, I can create any number of test methods. Let me create good number of test methods. User login, verify user login with invalid username and valid password. Invalid username and valid password. So for this invalid username and valid password, what I will do here is I'll write the same code, guys. Mostly the same code will be there. Okay, because same warning message will come. You should not be able to log in because we are giving invalid username here. Okay, email address here. So here I'll give something like some extra text I'll give. Okay, here I'll give some extra text which is an invalid email address, and valid password I'll give. Valid password. Not only this, guys. Again I'll make this at the rate test and priority is equal to 1. Okay, sorry, 3. Sorry, 3. Okay, third priority. I'll create one more test method. I'll create good number of test methods. Public void verify user login with invalid credentials. That is both invalid username and passwords. Okay, in this case both credentials are invalid. I'll convert this method into the test method, and I'll be writing the same code here. Same warning message should come because credentials are wrong here. Okay, here also the credentials are wrong. Let me write down the copy paste the code here. Let me copy paste the already copy pasted, and here in invalid email address I'll give some other invalid email address, and invalid password also I'll give 67890 like this, and yeah, the same warning message should be expected after every test method. Automatically after method will be executed. Here how many tests are there? There are, this is priority for four tests are there. Four tests are there. That means this after method will be executed four times. After every test method, this after method will be executed. Okay, first test, then after method. Second test, after method. Third test, after method. Fourth test, after method. I'll create one more test, guys. Final test, let's say, for this sample demonstration. Final test, verify user login without giving credentials. If you don't enter credentials and try to log in without giving credentials, what will happen? Same warning message should come. Invalid credentials warning message should come. Okay. At the rate test annotation I'll give here, and I'll copy paste this code, and I'll remove the credentials. Okay. I'll not pass any credentials in this particular test. So simple it is. Uh, just see here, and just remove this email address from this. You're not passing any email, neither you are passing any password. Blank credentials. With blank credentials, you are checking. Okay, with blank credentials, you are checking. Like that, how many tests are there? 5 tests are there. After method will be executed how many times this time? Whether the test will pass or fail, after method will be executed 5 times. Okay, for every test, it will run. Okay, it will close the browser no matter what. Okay, now run this. Let's run all these 5 tests. Okay, let's run all these 5 tests. 5 tests will be running one by one, and in all the cases the browser will be closing. All the tests will pass now. Okay, all the tests will pass because we are verifying the warning message. Okay, if the browsing is taking time, guys, okay, it's a demo application, just press enter so not waste your time. The first test is done. valid credentials, invalid credentials, invalid or whatever that is, invalid password or now invalid email address, maybe invalid email address and valid password. And now fourth one is invalid email address and invalid password, fourth one. And finally, without giving any credentials, you are trying to log in, you will get the same warning message. You see, 5 tests got passed, guys. 5 tests got passed, and they got executed one by one. In all the cases, the browser got closed. Whether the tests are passing or failing, the browser will close because after method will be executed. But the problem here is, the problem with this methods is, if you see, if you compare all these 5 tests, guys, some set of code is same across all these 5 test methods, from test 1 to test 5 here. Okay, from test 1 to test 5 here, if you see, this code is same, right? This code is same. You see, this part is nothing but the setup code, guys. So, okay, it is a setup code. Opening the application URL, till application URL, everything is same, guys. Okay, till application URL, everything is same. So what I will do here is, I'll create one more method known as public void setup method. And whatever the setup code is there, which is same across all the methods, that is I'll say before method, and I'll import this before method, guys, annotation from TestNG. And like after method will be executed after every test method, right? Similarly, before method will be executed before every test method. So in that before method, I'll be writing this setup code. I'll be moving this setup code from all the methods. Okay, here I'll be writing the setup code, where I'll be opening the browser, maximizing the browser, and opening the application URL. Remaining will be related to the test code. Okay, here also setup code I will remove. Till opening the browser URL I will remove, guys. From here also I'll remove. Now here also I'll remove the setup code. Okay, so I don't have to duplicately write any code anywhere, and that setup code is part of the before method, and this before method will be executed before every test method. That means before every test method runs, it will open the Chrome browser, maximize the browser, and open the application URL in the browser. Then only the test execution code will run, and after the after the test got executed, immediately after method will be executed and the browser will close. Now before the second test method got executed, before method will be executed a second time, and the browser will be opened, maximized, and the application will be opened. And after the second test method got executed, after method will be executed, and so on till fifth test. Before this fifth test, before method will be executed, browser will be opened, application maximized, and application URL will be opened. And after the fifth test got executed, and finally after method, that is closing the browser, will be executed. Okay. Now if I run all, guys, you'll get the same output. It will run in the same fashion. Okay. So this is what is before method and after method. Okay. You don't have to duplicate the code. Okay. So for opening the browser and maximizing and opening the application, you don't have to duplicate the code. You can write that only in the before method, and all the test methods you don't have to repeat the code, guys. And also, whether the test passes or fails, you have to quit the browser. No matter whether the test will pass or fail, you have to quit the browser, guys. For that, we'll be using driver.quit. Okay, for that we'll be using driver.quit. That is after method. We'll be writing the driver.quit in the after method. You see, all the tests are closing, browsers are closing. Okay, executions are happening, and all those stuff. Okay. Let's see. Thing is missing here. One of the tests didn't get executed properly, it seems. Five passed, guys. Everything got passed, guys. Everything got passed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Everything got passed. That's okay. So this is what is the advantage of the before method, after method. If I have to explain it again, if you have before method, after method, annotated methods along with the test methods, let's say 5 test methods are there. How the execution will be: first, at the rate, before method will be executed, setup code containing the setup code. After that, at the rate test one, let's say. Okay, one I'll say. Okay, then at the rate first method. Okay, first test method. Then after method will be executed. Then afterwards, again, before the second test method gets executed, before method will be executed, and second test. Then after method. Now similarly, at the rate before method, at the rate test 3, at the rate after method. Okay. Then at the rate before method, at the rate test 4, and at the rate after method. Okay. At the rate before method, at the rate test 5, then at the rate after method. Okay, like this. Like this, they will be executed, guys. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Before method, test 1, after method. Before method, test 2, after method. Before method, test 3, after method. Before method, test 4, after method. Before method, test 5, after method. I gave you a real-time example here by creating 5 tests and they having the before method and after method and why they are required. Okay, now let's move on to the other annotations, guys. I told you already, at the rate test, at the rate before, and at the rate after are the three mainly used methods in TestNG as part of Selenium automation or API automation or uh, mobile automation. Whatever it is, you generally use these three test methods. Okay, three annotations of TestNG for changing the control of the execution of the flow. But coming to the before class, after class, before test, after test, before suite, after suite, we generally don't use, and they work according to the testng.xml file. Okay, if we have to see how this before class, after class, before test, after test, before suite, after suite are working, you have to use the testng.xml file. You have to run the test using the testng.xml file. Just see here how it happens. So I'll right click on this and create, right click and select, right click on the project and select TestNG and say convert to TestNG. A sample TestNG.xml file will be created directly under the project. Okay, directly under the project with this XML code which contains sample.login, sample package.login. Okay, this XML, only one class is there containing 5 tests. Okay, click on finish, guys. TestNG.xml file is done. If you open the TestNG.xml file here, you will understand that this XML file at the top level contains suit, then it contains test, then it contains class, then it contains the particular class. If you don't want to specify only this particular class here, you can mention like this. Okay, slash class. Okay, there's other way of writing the class here, and here if you want to include the methods, you can say include method. Sorry, I have to write methods here. So if I want to describe more, okay. Otherwise, it will take five test methods inside the class. If you want to customize which methods of the this particular class need to be executed, you have to go with the methods, guys. Okay. So let's write the methods for now. So I'll say include, guys. Include name is equal to. I'll give the name of the test methods that need to be included. So first method is this one. Where is that method? Verify user valid credentials is the first one. I'll include this here and save all. I'll close one of them. Okay, so I'll open this again. Yeah, I'll copy paste this line. There are 5 test methods, right? I'll write this 5 times. Okay, 5 test methods. And what is the second test method name? Let's go with the second test method name. That is verify user login with valid username and invalid password. Okay, valid username and invalid password. Okay, then third one, guys. Third one, verify user login with invalid username and valid password. Verify user login with invalid credentials. Again, it got opened. Save, copy this till invalid credentials and open the testng.xml file. And there in the fourth one, you paste the name of the test method. Okay, came. Yeah, with invalid credentials came. Then fifth one, save this. And fifth one, guys, coming to the fifth one, verify user login without giving credentials. Okay, copy this test method, come back to testng.xml file and paste it here. Now, these annotated methods like before class, after class, before test, after test, before suit, after suit, all this from at the rate test to everything, guys. Okay, they will be running according to the testng.xml file, guys. Okay, before suit means before the suit gets run, before the suit execution starts, before suit annotated method will be running. Okay, before suit annotated method will be running, and after that, there is only one test here. One test tag is there. We can have multiple test tags. For example, I can put 3 of these test methods in one test. I'll just call this as test one, test one. I'll copy paste this test, guys. I'll copy paste. This is how we can do. I'll copy paste the test, and here I'll just name that as test two. In another test, I'll run only other remaining. The first test I'll be running first 3 methods. Let's assume that just for the sake I'm doing, guys. Second test I'll be running. Sorry, last 2 test methods. Okay, first 3 I'll remove and last 2 test methods. Like this, you can create any number of test tags here. So before suit annotated method will be running before the suit tag starts, and before test will be running before these 2 test methods, 2 test tags. At the rate before test will be running, at the rate before test will be running before this test and also before this test. And similarly, before suit is over, before test is over, and after this and there are methods here, right? And there are classes also. Before class, after class is there. So here how many classes are there? Okay, here only one class is there. So before class, this before class will be executed. Before class will be executed. And here methods are there. Okay, before method. So for every test method, before every test method here, the before method will be executed. You already know that the setup code of this each and every test method is inside the before method, and before method will be executed before every test method that is mentioned here. 3 times it will be executed before method. And after that, and also after every test method, after method will be executed. After every test method got executed, after method will be executed. And after this class, after class will be executed. After this particular class is done containing these 3 test methods, after class will be executed. And after that, here first test will be completed. So after test will be executed after here. Then again the test will start here. Before test will run first, before test, and then before class will run, before class will run. Then for each and every test method, before every test method, before method will be running, and test method and after method will be running. Before method, test method, after method. After that, after class will be executed. After class will be executed. Then after test, then after test, then after suit. Like this, guys. Okay. Let me repeat that. Before suit, before test, before class, before method, test method, after method. Before method, test method, after method. Before method, test method, after method. Then after class, after test. Again before test, before class, before method, test method, after method. Before method, test method, after method. Then after class, after test, and after suit. Okay, like this. Like this. Based on the XML, guys. Here we don't have such annotations, guys. Okay. All the annotations are not there as per now, but I will be creating now. Just for dummy annotations, I will be creating. For now, here only we have 5 test methods, and after and before methods we have, but I will be creating all the annotype. Public void, I'll say before S. Before S means assume that it is a before suit. Okay, just giving some random name. At the rate before suite, I'll say. Okay, before suite. Import this before suite, and here I'll print it out saying that system.out.println before suite. Okay, before suite. So that you will know that before suite annotated method has run. Okay, then I'll write public void after is after switch. After the complete suite got executed, after suite method will be executed automatically. I'll be writing here, import this from TestNG. So system.out.println after suite. Done. Then I'll be writing public void. Then inside the suit we have what in the XML file? Test we have, right? If you see the XML here, first suit is coming, after that test is coming. So let's write test related stuff. Okay, public void before T, I'll say before T, before the test tags in XML it will be running. I'll say before test annotation. Import this before test annotation, and here write down system.out.println before test. And similarly, I'll copy paste this one, guys, and I'll create the after test. I'll say after T, I'll say after test, and here also after test, and import this after test. Before test, after test are over. So now you understood, right? Before test will run before this test tag, and after test will run after this closing tag, after test closing tag. Then we have class here. Before class, after class we can write. Let's write the before class, after class now. Similarly, copy paste these 2 things. So I just want to save the time. That's it. Nothing much. So, and then I'll say before class here. Okay. Before class, I'll say before class, and I'll say C before class. Okay, import this before class, guys, and after class I'll write, and here I'll write C here, after class. Here also I'll say after class. Import this after class, and after that, now you understood before class, after class, after class, and before method, after method is already there. Before method, each and every before every each method, before method will be running. After every method got executed, after method will be running. So I think we are good. Okay. So I completed everything, right? Before class, after class, before test, before suite, after suite. Okay, till here I wanted to cover in this session. Remaining all based on the topic I will be covering, guys. These annotations also will be covered, but not now. Based on the topic I will be covering. For now, the mainly used annotations are at the rate test, before method, after method, and remaining all are based on the testng.xml. Okay, till after suite, based on the testng XML structure, they will be running. Just see now. Now, if I run this testng.xml file, you will see that before suit will be running, then after suit will be before suit will be running, then before test, before class, before method, test method, after method, before method, test method, after method, before method, test method, after method, then after class, then after test, before class, before method, test method, after method, before method, test method, after method, then after class, and then after test, and then after switch or suit. Okay, now run this code using testng.xml file. You will see the same output printed. Okay, so let me write some print statements here also, just to want to see when they are getting executed. Okay, so sorry, it's already there here. Here, guys, here down. This is before method, guys. Before method. Okay, and where is sorry, this is after method. Sorry, after method. Where is the before method? Yeah, here before method. So before method, I will be writing here so that you will know when they got executed and all. Okay. Then here in the test, this is test one, right? I'll write test one here. I'll copy this uh, test one, then test two, then test three. Just for the sake, I'm writing some print statement so that you can see the order of the execution of the code. Okay. Test five, 4, 5. I think that's done. We are good. Let me run this code and see whether we are getting the order, the output. Right click on testng.xml file and run as testng suite, before test, before class, then before method, then test one will be running. Test one is running now. You'll see the output test one, after method, before method. Test two is running now. Okay, test two, before method, test two, after method, and before method. This is taking time. You see test three, after method, before test is running, because after three test methods, I have included those other two test methods in different test tags. Okay, one of them has not getting executed. That's fine. What is this extra thing? So 5 got executed. So anyhow, we'll see the order, guys. Before switch, before test, before class. Then you see three test methods are there in the before in the test tag. Okay, before method, test one, after method, before method, test two, after method, before method, test three, after method. After that, in another after class is coming, then after test is coming, then another test is starting here. Before test, before class, before method, then test 4, after method, before method, test 5, after method, after class, after test, after switch. At the last, we got after switch. Okay, these all, the order of the execution is all based on testng.xml file, guys. Those annotations are working according to the testng.xml file. That's what you have to understand. So with this note, guys, I am done with this session. I demonstrated the annotations that I wanted to cover in this session. There are other annotations I told you already, like before group, after group, data provider, parameters, factory, listeners, and ignore. All these kind of annotations I'm going to cover as part of the topics. Okay, as part of these topics. Okay. Till then, just follow these annotations, guys. In the next session, I will be covering other TestNG topics for you. Okay. So that's all for this session, guys. That's all for this session. Those are the annotations I want to cover as part of this topic. In the next session, I'm going to cover another TestNG topic for you. Till then, see you. Bye bye.